Hi, I'm Tom White, and you're listening to Endeavour Radio, and you're listening to The Punk Show. I'm sitting with Gnarwolves right now, before they play their headlining show at the Scene in Lincoln. So, how much are you looking forward to tonight's show, and what can we expect from the set?
I think it's gonna be a good one. It sounds really great on stage. It's a nice little stage there, have a little jump about there.
Not the full Monty, I hope.
Well, I might.
You might.
Yeah, I like getting naked.
Well, hope, maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully that won't happen. Or
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Some people might want to see it. Don't.
I don't know. But yeah, it might mix things up a little bit, mightn't it?
Expect that.
There's no barriers though. I guess that's an upside to the gig.
Yeah, we asked when we booked the tour that we don't really want barriers because they always seem to think it stops danger, but the kids are going to stage dive no matter what is there really at the end of the day, and barriers are just going to hurt people. People are just going to fall on them and land on them and stuff. At least like you can just land on soft people instead.
Can we expect some new tracks off of the actual album to be played tonight? As that's sort of in the rumour mill at the minute.
Yes. Yeah. We were going to play 3 new songs from our record we're going to put out next year. It's going to be an album. Quite excited actually. And they've been going down really well at the show, so hopefully they'll keep going down well as we continue on. Yeah. 3 new tunes.
That's wicked. Are they all untitled, or like do we actually have any names?
One song is called Dayman, and then the other songs haven't got names yet. They're untitled as of yet. But yeah, Dayman off It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Is that the album title, or is it? Right. Oh, sorry. I'm not with the. I didn't know it was a TV show. You see.
You should watch it, man. It's really funny. You'd definitely enjoy it.
I didn't know until my friends started watching it, and I kind of enjoyed it a little bit, so I watched it some more.
How's the tour been so far? Seeing as we're like halfway through it now, you know, what's been sort of like the most memorable moment of the headlining tour?
What do you reckon? Leeds was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Bristol too.
Like Plymouth was like sick, and I was like everyone was going crazy, and then we're like, oh yeah, tomorrow we're playing sold out in Bristol tomorrow, and then that was even just like the whole tour has been like every night has not let us down. Like every show has just been well good, and everyone's been well nice, and like everyone's just having a really good time. It's been rad, and like we've had no like, oh, you ain't played for long enough, or you ain't played short enough, or everyone's just like clapping and like, having a good time. Noel's crew, you basically, isn't it? Like.
Oh man, that's pretty good. Well, you can't help that. That's part of. Would you say that's part of what you do, part of the touring and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't really thought about it.
How do you feel like when you play a song, say like Melodious Big Plans and History's Bunk and stuff like that? How do you feel like when it really sort of sets the mood for the set and for the kids watching you?
Oh, good. Obviously, it's when people go in like getting into the songs that you're playing, it's kind of cool. It's a unique experience. I think there's no other way you can get that kind of reaction from anybody. So other than like throwing bottles at them or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of amazing, man. Like there's parts of our set where it's really it kind of, for us at least, it takes us aback a little bit. We're a bit like awestruck by the whole thing. It's amazing, really. Kids are cool.
So you're from Kernow in Cornwall, and we all are. Yeah, you are. Kernow is Cornwall.
Kernow is the Cornish word for Cornwall.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought it was actually a town in Cornwall.
No, we live in Penzance and Bude respectively. We lived there, but we lived away from there for a long time now. It's just where it's our roots, isn't it? It's important to remember where you're from and don't forget your roots.
So like, because you're from Cornwall and we're in Lincolnshire, we're both towns are sort of miles from anywhere. So was it hard like starting up the band, being like so far away from a scene, or being?
We never had that problem with this band because we started it in Brighton, so it was a bit easier. But obviously we all come from that area, and that like where being in a band is kind of the only thing you have to do anyway. So starting a band in the first place is well easy. It's just breaking outside of your little bubble, which you create for yourself, and you live so far from everything, and you kind of have to put a lot of hours in to get anything out of it. And it's awesome at the same time. I have no qualms of coming from a small place at all. It's like taught us a hell of a lot about community, because the people around you are the only people that, and yeah, it's important. Yeah,
That's wicked. So like, how much of a jump was it from like playing house shows, like with the first EP, Fun Club, and then all of a sudden being signed with Tangled Talk Records with your second EP? Like, and then from then on, you were touring with like Lowland Atlantis and the Wonder Years, and you did Heavy Fest. So how much of a jump did you think that was?
It's like one of those things you kind of don't think about it, because if you think about it, then you kind of, your brain explodes. But it was rad, man. Like we've all just wanted to play music for as long as we can, and like we can still do that. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing. Like, it's cool. We like to hang out. So
it was a massive jump. I know if like, has it sort of like gone uphill from like, in the space of a year? Would you say like?
yeah. I think that it's been kind of from the minute we started our band, there's been an unexpected growth. Like we didn't think that we'd do anything more than play like little shows where we come from, and so every single step has been an unexpected thing to happen. So like to be doing this is mad. It's stuff like this is mad, and yeah, of course you don't go out, if you're going out in a band expecting to be like the next big thing or whatever, or like play anything past, you know, outside of your own doorstep really to start off with, and you're being deluded and you're being stupid. So you got to just do what's fun, and then it turns out that we've been offered some things which have been really, really fun. So we just get to keep doing fun stuff. It's really good. Yeah.
I saw you perform at the Reading and Leeds festivals, and like you're playing the lock-up stage, I think, were you?
yeah, we did for Mike Davies.
And so was that like to open sort of on the lock-up stage, like being one of the first acts on the day or one of the days? You know, was it a really good experience? You know, were you nervous basically for?
Yeah, of course we were nervous. It's madness. It was ridiculous, especially Reading, when we kind of had to leave really early in the morning to get there on time, and we arrived and it's like, this place is like legitimate. This is a professional festival. What are we playing at? All these people around here whose only job is to like be professional in the music business, and we like just turn up and like cack ourselves. Just the fact we've got a box to stay in for a few hours with some beers in it, and then hearing people like shouting our names like before we go on the stage, and it's
Even individual names.
yeah, it's amazing. It was one of the most amazing things we've ever done, I think. Especially when like you think about as being a kid and like growing up and going to see like the lock-up bands and then getting to play on that same stage. It's stupid, isn't it?
Actually, on that note, a question for you, Tom. Was the Reading and Leeds festival? Was it the one you were referring to in the Kerrang feature? When you were working for a supermarket and your boss actually caught you skiving off work?
No, it wasn't. I still have the same job I had when I was at Reading and Leeds Festival. That was a long time ago. That was when I was about 17 that I did that. I've learnt my lesson and stuff like that now. I know that if I want to go away and play a gig, then I'll just tell my boss that that's what I'm going to do. Like, yeah, I'm off for a bit. If I've got a job when I come home, is that all right? And they're like, yeah. I don't have to pretend I've got diarrhea anymore.
So you're playing. Did you play? You've played Sweden for the first time.
Yeah, the other day.
On the 7th of December. Was it? It was in. Is it Linköping? I can't remember. Don't know how you pronounce it. Linköping. Was it really sort of? Was it really very interesting to play? Seeing as there's from the 1970s, there's been like a really hard like punk scene since then. You know, was it cool to like play alongside bands in Sweden?
Yeah, Of course it was. It was well fun. It was a bit of a blur of a journey because it was the same weekend that they had all that trouble at the airports. So we spent most of our time on a plane. But we got to play with like Oathbreaker and stuff like that, and then with a bunch of Swedish hardcore bands, and it was a rad experience. We got to go and see something new. It's gonna be good, and like culturally not hugely different really. It's just just more expensive. Everyone's got more money. It's the perfect place for punk, I suppose.
How is it different from the English punk scene? If going out and playing in Sweden, how is it different? How was the reaction?
I wouldn't say it's that much different, man. Like,
say from one show.
it wouldn't. The only difference was we played a straight edge festival, really, and like we couldn't drink all day. We couldn't do anything all day, really. But at the end of the day, it's really expensive to drink there anyway. So really,
Recorder like ciders and everything like that.
well, that's the thing. It was just different, but it wasn't really like the people were just hardcore dudes, punk dudes and stuff. They're just like us, really. They like the same bands and like the same thing. They like to stage dive. They like to mosh. They like to do whatever. And there's nothing really different. Just more expensive.
You played with Lower Than Atlantis in this for the Stand for Something tour this year. You were like the special invitation. You know, how was it to just sort of like be invited by them and, you know, to just play alongside them? Was it like a gig that stood out from all the others?
They're like our mates, isn't it? We just know them, so it was just kind of going and hanging out with our mates for a day. I know people kind of like get really excited about Lower Than Atlantis because they're famous and stuff, but they're just people, and they're quite nice people, and they're a band, so we get to play gigs with them as opposed to going to the pub with them instead. Yeah. It was good.
Did you catch them at Leeds, or Reading and Leeds? Because they did do it this year as well.
Yeah, they played in the fat stage, didn't they? They played the main stage. Yeah. I didn't see it, no. Did you guys see Lower Than Atlantis on the big stage?
Yeah. Which big stage?
On Reading and Leeds.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Really. It was crazy seeing them up there. Wearing their Gnarwolves merch, obviously. But no, it's cool.